Hey everyone, Chendo here,
Twizzy.
and Bones isn't with us, but we'd like to share a couple words.
We want to apologize for not being able to put out videos. We've had a lot of scheduling problems,
Tennis, school, colleges, life in general.
but we didn't forget about you guys, so we're coming back with some more videos.
So please enjoy this one, and thanks for watching. Alright, review days. Today we'll be discussing Sword Art Online, and also what we think about Season 3 in my opinion, and Season 2 in Twizzy's opinion. Alright, so with me today, as I've already mentioned, is one of my co-hosts, Twizzy, and we have Bones over there, chilling in the corner, being a bitch. Oh yeah, and by the way, my name is Chendo, if you've forgotten me. Alright, so I guess I'll just start off with this. What was your guys' first impression of Sword Art Online?
Great. Fuck you. My first impression of Sword Art Online was it was something new. Because I haven't. The thing the closest it comes to was Hack, which I'd never really watched. I watched one episode, the first Hack Sign.
Yeah.
Which I got Bones to watch.
I mean, that's also one of the things that I've also heard a lot. Is I've never seen any of the Hack Sign series, but a lot of people who do watch Sword Art Online say they usually always relate it back to the Hack series, simply because they both take place in online games. Though I have to agree with you, one of the things that I really liked about Sword Art Online was how new it was. Like, as far as seeing an anime about gaming, that was the first one for me. Because, like I said, I didn't watch the Hack series, and I didn't really watch any of the other ones that came out, like Batum, which I need to watch. But yeah, for me it was simply that, and the way it started out for me was just like a whole brand new idea. The idea was fresh, and I really liked that about Sword Art Online. So it got me hooked. Like, I wanted to see what was going to happen as the story progressed for that. So I have to say that's one of my first impressions of it, was that this was definitely something new, something that I haven't seen before, and I really liked that.
Alright, but before I get into anything, could somebody please tell me, is it Season 3 or Season 2? Because I'm confused right now. And I want to fight Chendo to the death on this. Because I think it's Season 2.
Alright, so, alright, the only reason I'm saying it's gotta be Season 3 is because for me, as far as I'm concerned, a season ends when they change the opening and ending songs. That's when they change. When they change that, usually they're showing some sort of change in the plot of the story. That's usually when that kind of when the opening changes and when the ending changes, is there's something that's gonna shift story wise. And so that's the only reason that I think it's gonna be Season 3, because they had a original opening and ending for the first part of Sword Art Online, which took place in the world Sword Art Online. Then you had the opening and ending for Alfheim Online, or ALO, which for me was Season 2. And now for 2014, I can't remember if it's this spring or soon. It's either this spring or the summer season, where the new season of Sword Art Online is going to start, and that's why I consider it Season 3, not Season 2.
Alright, now that's a 100% valid point. But it's categorized under Season 1. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I could see that. So it could just be me. But, that's just what I said. That's not, the way I personally keep track of things. It's just when the opening and endings change, there's usually always a change in the plot that occurs with it. Not always. It's not an absolute rule, but that's what I usually see. Mm-hmm. So that's why I usually think that the Sword Art Online that's going to come out is going to be Season 3, which I still don't even know where they're going to take place in, the setting, as far as the setting's concerned, because I doubt they're going to stick with ALO and SAO like they've done in the first season in your case, and the first 2 seasons in mine, simply because they're done there. And I haven't read the light novels, or I don't even know if, I think it has a manga maybe. It's popular enough to have a manga, but I don't know if it even does have one. But I haven't read that either. So, like I said, up to where they're going to come, it's going to be a complete surprise to me. I kind of hope that they go back to how they were in the beginning of Sword Art Online, because one of the greatest problems that I saw with it was how they almost try to like. It kind of seemed like they took away what was the essential. I guess the essential characteristic of the first season, in my case, of the first 12 episodes, basically, where they had like that life-threatening situation. They were all stuck in the game, and it was life and death. It wasn't anything else. It was life and death. Like this was real, and that like made me want to watch it. That's why I was there.
All right. Before we talk about the different games, let's just explain it to him first. The first game is a game where everybody is trapped. That everybody that came into the world. Well, was it only Japan?
Yeah, it was only. I think it was. Yeah. Actually, that one's a hard decision to call. I can't really remember whether or not it was just the players in Japan that were trapped. It could possibly be that, or it could have been all the players around the world.
I thought.
I think it was only Japan. It could possibly be. If anybody knows, write in the comments. I mean, I don't know, but I think I'm gonna say it could possibly just be Japan.
Yeah, I was thinking because I thought I read that somewhere or they said it.
Yeah.
But the first problem is they get stuck in this game.
Yeah.
And if you die in the game, you die in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in this game, you have to do these. What are they, dungeons?
No, well, you have to clear the levels.
Yeah, clear the level to get to the final boss, which I don't know how far they got.
Yeah, it's like they have 100 set levels and they have to get all the way up there. But the game was like absolutely massive, so I don't even think they never even got to finish.
Yeah, they didn't. The reason they didn't get to it was because Kirito, the main character, had already figured out who the person who made the game was.
What do you mean by that?
Like, he found out.
The creator.
The creator of the game. He found out the creator of the game was the final boss. Well,
yeah,
he figured out who it was.
Yeah, he figured out He figured out that the creator of the game was actually playing alongside all the trap players all along to begin with. So they didn't even have to do the whole, let's get to the 100th level and, the anime would end there. Kirito and the final boss, I guess you could say, just decided to duke it out.
Do you remember how he figured it out? It was like his HP bar never went below a certain point?
Yeah,
right?
It was because during their first duel, I think it was... Kirito was dueling against the Blood Orcs, I think they were called. It was the guild that Asuna belonged to, and Kirito fought against their leader. And during the fight, Kirito noticed how right before he was about to win, the guy he was fighting, the leader, pulled off a move that completely broke the game's mechanics. It was basically impossible to do it without having to have previously hacked the game, I guess you could say it in that sense, because he simply did something that was outside the parameters of the game as far as Kirito knew, and Kirito, who was already a beta tester, was very familiar with the game. So I think that's how he found out, because he later pieced together another piece. I forget the clue that. There might have been another clue that finally let him confirm it, but I think that was definitely the thing that set him off, because that was definitely suspicious for Kirito.
Yeah. All right. After he fights the creator of the game, Asuna ends up dying. Kirito ends up dying.
Yeah.
And they meet him.
Yeah, they meet him in some sort of weird heaven afterlife thing. Yeah. Which is all inside the game.
Yeah, and after that, does the creator go in to tell him why he created it?
No, the creator, actually, that's actually one of the biggest problems that I have with the series itself, and one of the largest plot holes is that they never actually reveal why. I think he says something like he forgot why he did it in the first place.
Yeah.
Or something along the lines they never explain it.
Yeah, Alright, we'll just continue. After that, he gets out of the game. Kirito wakes up.
Yeah.
So do a whole bunch of other students.
Yeah, because basically now that Kirito beat the game, for some reason Kirito and Asuna, who had died, are still alive.
Yeah.
I guess it's just part of the story that they died.
Oh, and the creator gave him the key to the world.
He gave him the seed or whatever
seed of the world.
to create as many different games as he wanted to, or unite them, or whatever. It was basically like the master program for the game and any other game that Kirito ever wanted to create or play. But yeah, they did that. And then that was the end of the first season, though. So basically, they finished with the life-threatening situation that was Sword Art Online, and they returned. I think they lasted in there for 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years in the game. They came back out, and what you really see is all the players waking up at the hospital, right? And they're all like anemic. Well, they're all thin, except for that. I think the fat guy still stayed fat for some reason. I guess it's just to show him, differentiate him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a weakened Kirito leaving the hospital, or at least going somewhere, possibly to Asuna's room. Who Asuna, same looks.
Yeah. All throughout the story.
Only thing different, long ass hair.
Yeah.
It was like, what the fuck?
Then, after he realizes that Asuna did not wake up, he saw her. What was it, on like a browser or something? Like for the next game.
He saw her because he was talking. Kirito went to go talk to Agile, who was I think he was either a vendor or he was a vendor. He was a vendor in Sword Art Online, and one of his friends, who showed him a new game called ALO, who I think pointed that out, like that there was a character that looked suspiciously like Asuna, or who I forget if it was. Yeah, he pointed it out to him, and Kirito decided to go into the game to figure out what was going on. And that was actually the beginning of the, I call it the second season. I guess you could call it the second part.
I would call it the second arc.
The second arc, yeah. The second arc of Sword Art Online, which takes place in Alfheim Online, or ALO. And it's basically the same, almost the same thing. It was also an RPG game. Except this one was more fantasy. Yeah. I guess you could say the other one was too, but that one was fantasy in the sense of
wings
it was like more like
fairies and whatnot.
Yeah. This one was completely fantasy kind of style, and you also see the return of Yui, which is the little computer program
that they had adopted, kind of
the NPC or the computer aspect of what it was like. I forgot how she was created. She came about, but she was like started out as a bug, but she developed her own personality. Basically, became her own little thing, but she was an aspect of the programming for Sword Art Online, and she returned. I liked her.
Yeah,
she was adorable.
She was.
Just to let you guys, Yui is she's a little character girl. Like we've already said, she's part of like the program, but she took the form of a little character NPC, and she was adopted by Kirito and Asuna, who I guess they formed a family. Yeah, they formed a family in SAO, and she was like their daughter.
Didn't they stop fighting for a period of time too? They just moved out.
Yeah, they moved out into like the countryside,
which was just great. I love that part.
It was kind of relaxing. But I guess
you forgot about the real problems in the world.
Yeah, which kind of like I guess you could say like that might have pissed people off. Like, this is like a whole life-threatening situation. No, here they are by the side of the lake fishing. I mean, after a while, I was like, yeah, let's get back to the game, which is one of the things that really pissed me off about the way the first season, first arc ended. People died.
Yeah,
and they never told us why. I mean, we already brought this up earlier, but the creator never told us why. What philosophical principle was he going on? What reason did he have for doing this whole thing in the first place? It's like people died because of him. But in the end, at least for me, I completely I had no anger towards him. Yeah. I just wanted to find out why.
And he didn't seem like a bad person.
Yeah, he didn't seem like a bad person, but at the same time, you can't forget he trapped people for 2 or 3 years.
Murdered millions of people.
And hundreds. Hundreds of people died because of him. But, you never get an explanation why, and it's just forget about those people, kind of.
Yeah, they really did. They didn't, I don't think they showed any scenes, people that died.
No, they only, they did. They showed a couple of, minor characters here or there, I think, and, Sachi. well, basically all of Kirito's, the first guild that Kirito joined.
Yeah.
It was Cats Guild or something like that. It was
I
some sort of thief cats or whatever. But the first guild he joined in, and you see them all get like annihilated because they get like, they try to go for the treasure, but it was a trap. And Kirito sees them all die, and he decides to go like a solo boss. And he has emotional trauma for a while.
That kind of didn't make any sense to me, because if Kirito was strong enough to get out of there, I think he could have at least saved some people.
Yeah, I no. Well, by that level, by that time he was like level 40-ish. He was like a higher level than everyone in the guild, but he wasn't like as OP as you see him later on in the series.
Yeah, but
he did try, but he couldn't in the end. I mean, that's part of like, I guess that's part of the reason he had like, so much trauma later on, is just trying to like bring her. Remember when that episode or two that they spent on him trying to get like this, like a snowflake or crystal, that
the snowman thing.
Yeah, that gives a wish, that grants a wish, and he wished for he wanted to wish her to come back to life. But then he found out that doesn't work like that.
Yeah, no, it was only like 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, he gives her.
Which was a touching scene.
Yeah, no, he doesn't in Seer. He gives the thing to Klein, and but it's actually later on when he reads a message from her.
Yeah.
John, made me miss Sachi. But I guess Asuna was cool.
The reason I thought like when he gave the thing, the Klein was a touching scene, because like you could see how hurt he was.
Yeah.
By it.
Yeah.
And then he just walked away.
Yeah. I mean, that's also like one of the things that I really just liked about Sword Art Online, is that part, like you could feel like they were treating it seriously, but by like the end, that's the thing that kind of like angered me. They forgot about it.
Yeah, the second season, ALO,
or the second arc.
The arc, just fucking killed me. I hated that so much. I didn't hate it, but
yeah, it was all right. So okay, you go first.
It was a completely different vibe.
Yeah, like
you went from a serious game, like to where people can die, to like people that didn't really care about. Like they totally forgot about it. Mm-hmm. Like Kirito, he when he first got into the game, he was curious, like, could he kill people here? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. And I could understand, but he wasn't even. I don't know. I feel like he would be at least a little hesitant to, but he wasn't.
Definitely, yeah, he wasn't. Which is kind of one of the things that I have to agree with you completely on that. It's like season 2 or arc 2. It wasn't that horrible. It wasn't like completely awful, atrocious, or whatever. It just wasn't the same as season 1 or arc 1, because just like you said, the seriousness was taken away. The very thing that made me want to watch Sword Art Online in the first place was the fact that it had this kind of like live or die vibe to it, and they took that away, and it became more of a I guess romance kind of thing, because they were more fixated on the relationships that were going on, because then you had that one Creeper Bull who was the king of ALO, who was trying to get with Asuna, who for some reason or another, I think it was because at the last second, right before everyone returned back to their bodies, he had a program that like took her virtual soul, or I guess it would be her consciousness, and captured it and put it in a character for ALO. So she was trapped there, and he was trying to marry into her family. Yeah. I don't know if it was because, I think it was both, because he wanted to marry into her family, and because he wanted her body, which was creepy considering that the bull was like 20 something. Yeah, he was old compared to like, and Austin is still in high school, but Japan. That's Japan for you. But yeah, so they had that whole thing going on there. So you knew it was gonna be like Kirito going to save Asuna. Yeah. Like that was gonna be the main point of the second arc. But then you also had Kirito's cousin, whose name is Sugaha. Yeah, Sugaha. Well, I'll just call her Lifa, which was her her game name. Yeah, her character name for ALO. And she thought she was Kirito's sister. My bad. She thought that she was Kirito's sister, but she had feelings for him. Turns out that they were cousins, and then she thought that, oh, now I can have feelings for him. Again, Japan. And yeah, so basically you had her whole underlying feelings for Kirito. Then she meets Kirito's new game character in ALO, and she, I guess, develops feelings.
She gets double bashed.
Yeah, she gets double bashed.
Kirito.
She falls also for the Kirito in the game. I mean, this whole, you might think, oh, video game, but I guess, the fact that it's basically their whole consciousness that gets transferred into the game, I could see why that would happen. You don't see people falling in love with each other because they play Call of Duty or something like that. And, that ain't happening. But I could see why that would happen. And so I knew that was going to just frustrate things as far as the romance went. But that's about it. Nothing to the action, nothing to the actual plot, because the seriousness was taken away and it was replaced with that relationship issues. And you already knew what was going to happen. Kirito already fell in love with Asuna. You had that whole heartwarming couple episodes where they're by the lake in the house and they have Yui as a daughter and they're basically a family. You can't forget that. You forgot all those people that died.
This was the point where it started going downhill for me.
Yeah.
But the thing that saved it was the ending. The ending was just...
The ending was satisfying.
Yeah.
I was satisfied with the ending. I like the fact that the creepy bull freaking got by Kirito. Both in the game, he got his ass beat in the game and in real life. It's just pathetic how he lost in real life.
He hit him with a car.
Oh my!
How do you hit him with a car and then still lose?
I know, right? Pathetic. And Kirito could have killed him then and there. Yeah. But he would have gone to jail. So he's like, I'm not gonna do that because Asuna, go for it. But yeah, that ending completely satisfied. I mean, the cousin is also her feeling. She confessed, I guess, in a way to both Kirito and online Kirito. Got rejected, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she didn't get rejected the second time because she didn't really confess. She just found out that the Kirito that she knew as a cousin was also the same character that she had come to like in the game. And how did she figure it out? Possibly by Kirito screaming Asuna several times. And I guess, that just really drove the nail into the coffin. That relationship, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then you had this is another thing, just real quickly, about the first arc that kind of pissed me off when Kirito was solo, and he met all these two other girls, right? The little beast tamer girl and the weaponsmith, and they both fell in they both fell in love with him. And I mean, what was the point of that? What was the point of that?
Did the beast tamer really fall?
Yeah, she did. She came to
Oh yeah, because I remember the end.
At the end when they were at the school and they're like, all right, we'll let them be for a while. But after that, it's war. It's like, no, give up.
I like the blacksmith because she knew what was going on.
She's like, I know you. Yeah. I know Asuna likes it, but she still tries to go for it. I mean, I guess go for it, try. Yeah. But I'm still rooting Asuna.
Yeah, but that was what was really unfair for Yui. There was no chance.
Not Yui.
Yeah, not Yui. Yui.
Lifa.
Lifa. Because you could tell instantly there was no chance.
Yeah, there was. You knew from all the development. It was just gonna be you knew it was gonna happen. The rejection, that is. You knew it was gonna happen, and you were just waiting for it to happen, so then you could get back onto the story of actually saving Asuna. Which, one of the things that I'm going to point out that I really didn't like about the second arc was the gratuitous tentacle scene. Remember that?
No.
Oh my god, they had this weird monster and... unnecessary, let's just call it that. Unnecessary monster. Asuna went back into her cell and Kirito came in, saved the day. I was so happy when Kirito whooped that bull's ass. Oh my god, I was ready to punch my computer screen when I
was so happy.
I was just so happy.
You were so happy
right
to get physical
then, right before then, I was ready to punch my computer screen.
Sword Art Online, great. It was great until they ruined it a little bit. Then it got okay. It got okay.
It was It was alright. The second
Yeah.
season, as far as I'm concerned, was alright. Now this is the thing, though. What are they gonna do for season 3?
Uh-huh.
Because they don't have that life or death situation anymore.
Mm-hmm. If I had to make a guess, at the end of season 2, you call it, or 2,
Yeah.
they said that, all right, let's go beat the tower now. Which
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
that they're
they-
going to make a whole new thing about it.
Oh no.
But
Yeah, I doubt they're gonna.
that might be
stick
the
with-
start of it, maybe.
Possibly.
And
I
then,
mean, it really is kind of hard to tell based upon because it seemed like they try to end it with that, like the whole like, oh, let's go defeat Sao kind of thing, you know, like everyone, you have all the characters there, they're all fairy characters or they're Sao characters, and they're all like, all right, let's go, and they're flying off from Elfheim all the way down to Sword Art Online. They're like, let's go kill the hunter. It's hard to tell. It kind of seems like it might go in that direction, so it could. I'm not sure. I think they might start on a different game, but what I want to know is what are they gonna do from there? Like, I guess beat the game naturally. It'll become more like a really game-centric anime, but you know, what's gonna make me? What's the hook that they got going for me? That's what I really am anxious to see.
yeah, I don't know. I'll be watching it, but first I'm gonna watch Log Horizon. Yeah, that's the one.
Because that same here. I'm gonna watch season 3 or arc 3. But first I gotta finish watching Log Horizon, because Log Horizon, even though at first when it was like I first heard of it, I was just like, oh, that's just Sword Art Online rehashed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not.
No.
It's different.
We'll save this for a different
Yeah,
discussion.
that's a different discussion though. And that one's also getting a season 2 in the fall, which surprised the shit out of me. But yeah.
Alright, guys, this has been anime discussion about Sword Art Online. I'm Twizzy.
Chendo.
We're out.